This is literally off the fly, so I apologize kind of in advance. I kind of put this together and had some last-minute inspiration, and so it's really taking a story about our event in particular. What I kind of was thinking, and kind of what occurred to me at least, was there's a diverse amount of people in here with a lot of common themes that are resonating. Our audiences are unique, but we have these same sorts, these sets of issues that we're trying to do to make our shows better. So I can share with you specifics, like I originally was thinking about, what we do with our show, and that's great, and I know there's some valuable things that can come out of that, but I thought, well, a lot of the decisions that we make are tied to the unique position of our show. And that's data that we're looking at, and that's profiling our customers, and that may not be applicable to everybody in this room, because if you want to create that great experience for your attendee, you may put higher values on things versus someone else sitting next to you may put a lower value on, just because it tends to work for you and be profitable for you, or enhance that experience or enhance that event. So I looked at it from a standpoint of, at the American Payroll Association, we're going through kind of a transition with our membership. And I look at that transition and I see the impact that it's having on us as a professional association. And I kind of put it towards the event industry. So I'll incorporate my few slides here and kind of my discussion points as a futurist approach of what I see that we're going to be dealing with in our area, and that is maybe applicable to the events industry and to the expo side of the house and to conferences in general. In payroll, especially as a professional association, we have one annual conference a year. It's very education driven. Payroll professionals are driven by compliance and keeping their companies in compliance, and it's a very tactical oriented job. It involves a lot of manual work, back office, if you will. Technology is evolving, and technology is going to change the role of that payroll and probably that HR person. And that technology is coming fast, and it's coming sooner than you might think. A lot of automation is going to occur, a lot of artificial intelligence is going to happen, and so it may not necessarily eliminate jobs, and this is across every space, but in particular for us, but it may change the role that you're doing within your organization, even planning for events and running events. And so that's why I wanted to kind of just point out some little features here that I felt like, in looking at all of us in the room, we're really looking at these three pillars, and this is what we try to look at from a very broad perspective, and that is we want a community experience, those two words in particular, experience, like we've been talking about, and how that is very unique, but also the community that we're building at the event. Richard's touched upon it a couple of times, and that is there's no replacing, without any amount of technology, the essence of bringing everybody under one roof and bringing everybody together and having that peer-to-peer interaction. So that's going to be extremely important. It's just, how does that actually happen? The data is going to become very important around your attendees, around your audience, around your exhibitors, around their activities. It's really looking at that data and being able to predict behavior in the end. That's really going to be a key to, I think, who succeeds and who doesn't in the coming 10 to 15 years. And then it's that personalization experience and the consumerization, I think, that's going to apply to the event industry. And so we all know what Uber and Lyft have done with ride sharing compared to the taxis. We know what Facebook has done and Twitter has done. We know what Netflix is and how that operates. And then recently Amazon just acquired Whole Foods. And so we know that this expectation is going across the board in everything that we deliver in, that I want an experience tailor-made for me when I go to someplace. Whether that be an event or whether that be going to the grocery store. So, on those themes, we try to work with Shepherd, and Shepherd's a great partner, to kind of correlate and kind of enhance experience. And so basically, we do that through entrance units, through learning lounges, through engagement type activities, which I think resonate with a lot of people here. The goal is for that experience to really be something that they can come away from, and they can really be memorable. The memory factor, the experience of having that fun and that good time is never going to go away. Again, that's something I think that digital and technology can't touch. But we are moving into this direction of social and big data and mobile, and that's going to resonate into robotics and deep AI and global network platforms. And this is borrowing from a presentation that I saw from Peter Henson called Day After Tomorrow, and this was recently presented at an HR technology show. And so that's where I'm going to kind of go with some of these concepts and applying that to the event industry. If we look at the largest companies by market cap, just 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you had companies like oil companies, you had companies like GE. Now in 2016, the largest companies by market cap are all technology companies. We have experience and data that's going to resonate in those everyday products. A great example is pacifiers. We're going to have smart pacifiers. These are already in development. So the pacifier goes into your toddler's mouth. It collects data, goes to your smartphone for an app so you can measure the activity and the health of your toddler. It's going to apply to the medical field. It's going to apply to, like I said, payroll and HR. And job roles are going to change, not necessarily get eliminated. So people should be mindful, but people are going to turn into process analysts. People are going to turn into analysts of data. People are going to turn into, hey, making decisions about how do we forecast and how do we predict behavior. If you look at text messaging, just in the last few years, you see that original light-colored curve, SMS. So that's how text messaging was adopted. But then you see WhatsApp, which is the next generation of communication with a lot of young people. And the WhatsApp adoption kind of blew away that curve for text messaging. So the acceleration is there. Things are being escalated by development. And so that's why I feel like we're going to see some of these things come on the scene with our industry. And I'm interested to hearing more about companies like Shepherd and other companies that are going to kind of enhance what that's going to look like for the attendee. The digital transformation is really occurring right now. You can see the acceleration that's going to happen. We're going from it being a novelty to where in the next 5 or 10 years it's going to be the norm. I picture a conference, and this is Facebook's, this is not Facebook, this is the company that acquired Oculus. This was their conference recently. And again, are we going to see attendee engagement look something like this in a general session? And just to show you how sophisticated things are getting, I pulled this video from a news report that we'll play real quick. This is the latest invention from Boston Dynamics.
News have been soaring since Boston Dynamics posted this video of its newest robot last night. The bot, called Handle, is more than 6 feet tall, can lift up to 100 pounds without flinching, and jumps, as you can see, up to 4 feet high, just like an Olympian, we are told. The new technology has some viewers wondering, what do we do when these robots go rogue? Well, one of them suggested we build an anti-robot wall more than 4 feet high. Yeah. Another says we should just, head to the beach and hope the wheels get stuck in the sand. And I'm totally involved in that one. Yeah.
That's pretty incredible, though.
But I'm listening.
All joking aside.
I'm fascinated by this.
It's only a matter of time, Mayor. It's only a matter of time.
If only it would, do my laundry, wash my dishes, I would welcome Handle into my house.
Just as long as they can't do our jobs.
I need a treadmill for Lola, one of those, little exercise in the house. Thank you.
Thanks.
So again, that's just to illustrate. You take that and you think about events, and you think about booths, and you think about even labor and building booths and just the basic needs that humans are doing right now to put together a trade show. What of that may be replaced, right? And again, this is not going to happen overnight, but this is the path that we're going down to where we're going to have machines of this nature ultimately fulfilling a need. And again, there's that line that we've talked about not to cross. And we want to make sure that, I want to make sure that you guys understand that none of this is occurring the next day, or we're going to see robots, on the trade show floor engaging with attendees, but especially when we're only at this stage right now. So again, the robots are not going to destroy us here immediately, but they are on the rise, and they are coming, and the technology is changing. And so what we're doing as an association is, and with our show, is we're trying to rethink and trying to go from being focused on efficiency and productivity to really being a rainforest, right? And really, it's a blend of both. But these are the examples and how we're trying to think more innovatively about everything we do, especially on the event side. Is that plantation is a lot of organizations that are going to be left behind. It's very controlled decisions. It's step and repeat. It's like a crop field, right? Everything is planned and predictable. The new paradigm and the new shift is the rainforest, right? It's organic. It's interconnected. And so that's that kind of planning that we want to focus in on, because really, if you look at innovation in any organization, when you're in your growth phase, you reach a peak, and then usually you start declining. And that sweet spot of innovating and optimizing your growth is usually when you're in growth mode. And so if you're having success right now, now's the time to really start getting innovative and thinking, what can we do to keep climbing? And what can we do to keep transforming? Because that's when you can continue to enhance that trajectory for growth. And so from a standpoint of rules of engagement and how we look at things, it's really, the two different models and trying to combine the best of both worlds. But you see the differences there as far as thinking outside the box is the cliche, but really it's the truth, and it's breaking those rules and dreaming and being not afraid to fail, but also trust and be trusted and being able to bring those ideas to the table. And that's it. Thank you very much.